Hannah. Hi guys. Today's video is going to be about the reasons why we choose to co-sleep with our newborn. And we have co-slept with him since the day that he's been born, and we've never had any problems. Actually, right now we're all sleeping together in one bed because we are moving and we're down to one mattress now. But in the camper, Ava will be sleeping in her own bed. It's like bunk beds, and she wanted to sleep on the top. And then us three are going to sleep in a full-size bed. And she really doesn't like to sleep with us. And I think that's just because she's used to, I said it in one of our previous videos, she's used to sleeping in her own bed, just because when she was younger, I always put her in her crib, and she had her own room and everything like that, so that's what she's used to. Otherwise, we tell her she can, sleep with us whenever she wants to. It's her choice. So I know a lot of people think that co-sleeping is dangerous and you can roll over on your newborn, and just things like that, but it is the safest place for your baby to be near the mom and dad, and especially with the mom. So that's one of the reasons why we do, is because it's the safest place. We don't really look at statistics and things like that, but I read, before I was even pregnant with him, I read a lot about co-sleeping and like SIDS and things like that, and there is actually, they say that there's less of a risk of them having SIDS if the baby is sleeping with the mom and dad in the bed. Of course, as long as the mom and dad are not under the influence of anything. That's usually when you hear stories about the mom rolling over and suffocating the newborn, or them pulling the blanket up and suffocating the newborn, things like that. I used to work in a hospital, and there was a few times of families coming in with newborns, and the newborns had died because they said that they were co-sleeping, but 2 times the mom was under the influence of alcohol, and 1 time one of them was on drugs or something. So obviously you won't be as in tune with your newborn if you are like drunk or something like that, but otherwise you're not going to be that sound asleep where you're just rolling all over and rolling on top of the newborn.
Which, under the influence, doesn't just have to mean like alcohol or some type of drug. It can just be what you're eating, because that makes you restless while you're sleeping, unconsciously restless while you're sleeping.
Right, and that's another thing too. Some overweight people, like severe overweight people, might have issues as well, because you're on the bed, and if the mattress is very unevenly distributed, I know that I've heard that some newborns will roll over and get somehow under the mom or the dad or something like that. But if you are healthy, there really should be no issues of co-sleeping. Another reason why we chose to is because I am exclusively on-demand breastfeeding, and it's much easier in the middle of the night, which he only wakes up. He sleeps for between 4 and 6 hours every night, so he doesn't really wake up, very frequently. But when he does wake up, it's nice that I'm just laying right there next to him, and I just nurse while we're both laying down, and he lays right, on my arm right next to me, and then he just falls right back asleep. And that's something, it's very comforting to him to just have me, be right there available to feed him in the middle of the night, and not have to, hear him if he's in his crib or something in another room, and I have to go walk over there, pick him up, then nurse him, then try to get him back to sleep and put him back in his crib. He's just right there, and he doesn't even eat that much during the night. I think because he doesn't even really wake up. He just wakes up enough to let me know that he wants to eat a little bit, and then he falls right back asleep. And we both do. So we sleep a lot more because we're not, we don't have to wake up so much during the night to do a feeding. Hold on, I wrote down all the reasons why. So another one is that it promotes continual bonding. So, of course, the initial bonding when the baby is born is really important, and the skin to skin, that promotes bonding. But co-sleeping further promotes it because the baby can feel safe and comforted and is always, right next to you. He's always touching and feeling either me or Corey, and he's always like looking, for that comfort. And he doesn't have to feel, that's what newborns need. They need to be, kids in general, really, they need to be by their parents, and that helps them to grow and develop emotionally and physically as well. And I can tell a big difference in just how he acts and his overall mood and everything like that. Mm-hmm. He's always so calm, and nothing really upsets him very much.
No, like when we use a shop vac for our vacuum, and when we run it, it doesn't bother him at all. We thought it would startle him. That we have our blender, which
super
is
loud,
1,500 horsepower, or 1.5 horsepower, and it's super loud when it runs. It's louder than our vacuum, and he doesn't care at all. And she actually said that she has noticed that he falls asleep when the loud noises are going sometimes.
Mm-hmm. He's just very calm. He's really, really happy all the time. He smiles at everybody, and he wakes up smiling. He's just a really, really happy, calm, mellow baby. And I really think it's just because of the emotional stability that we provide through attachment parenting. And I think that co-sleeping is one of the most important ones. Me and him are skin to skin at night. During the day when I'm breastfeeding, we usually are as well, but not as much. It's been colder here, so when we go downstairs, because upstairs is warmer, so he's usually, at night, he only sleeps in his diaper, and then he's, skin to skin on me throughout the night. And then during the day, if we're upstairs a lot, I don't really put an outfit on him. But then if we go somewhere, obviously I do, or if we're downstairs a lot because it's cooler. So he doesn't get it as much, but I try to do it as much as possible. But at night, I think it's really important that he, to have that skin to skin, and for him to be right there with me and him, just having that connection between all of us. And I was worried about sleeping with him, with our daughter, because she moves around a whole lot, and I just didn't want her, going on him or hitting him or something like that, because she doesn't have, I don't know the word that I'm looking for. I don't really sleep as soundly as I usually do because I'm so in tune with him.
I wouldn't say that, though. You definitely sleep just as soundly.
Yeah.
It's just that he wakes you up. We're more aware while we are unconscious in our body, since we have started cleaning out our body and everything. And we really don't even move at night. I mean, this position we go to sleep in is where we wake up in. Either if we wake up in the middle of the night or whatever position we lay down in is how we wake up, which was never used to be the case. And I've actually noticed with Ava that every time she moves, that she wakes up in some way, shape, or form.
Says something weird or something like that doesn't make sense.
So I think that even though she's not conscious, knowing what's going on necessarily around her in this plane, she is aware of the people and what is around her and stuff like that. So, because yesterday he was actually laying right next to her, and she moved and looked over towards him and moved her arm because she seen that she was getting close to him.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't.
She wasn't awake.
Yeah.
Like, if we would have talked to her, she wouldn't have known or remembered anything that we said. But she was aware of him. But how we've been doing it at night is she sleeps on the end, then I sleep next to her and Kai, and then Corey sleeps next to Kai. Just so that I'm in between. Because she still does move around a little bit and like kick sometimes, so I just don't want her kicking him. But I know plenty of people who co-sleep with lots of their kids of all different ages, and even, you know, bringing a newborn in. And I think it's just, I mean, it's very common, not in our culture. It's not as common, I think, just because they push the crib so much, and say how important it is for them to be independent, you know, from the beginning, so that they can be independent when they get older. And that's actually the complete opposite. They form more emotional problems and dependent problems if you are leaving them in their own space. They don't know how to cope with that. They don't know, you know, how to deal with those emotions yet, and that's why they need to be close to you so that they can develop properly, really.
Right. Our society has made it backwards so that we get stuck having an attachment towards things. During our early years, only the first few years, we need to be very close to our parents and family, which is the same way that animals are. Mm-hmm. It's just for a shorter period of time with most animals. Then after that initial attachment, the child begins to be more aware of what's going on, and they want to venture out on their own, which we're forcing them to be on their own. So it's creating a dependence throughout the whole rest of their life, or until they choose to figure out why they're like that, because they were left alone during their most dependent time in their life, when they needed the comfort the most.
Right. And sleep is, you know, like parents always say, they're always aiming towards getting on a schedule with their newborn so that they can sleep at night. And, you know, it's always like a goal for parents to get their newborns to sleep through the night as soon as possible. And I know, you know, even my sister was telling me her doctor, her pediatrician, recommended that, or he was upset because she was co-sleeping with her son. And I don't know, I wouldn't say upset, but he kept pushing her to get him to be in his own room, in his own crib. And he even told her, you know, leave him in there, let him cry it out. He even said if he's crying so much that he makes himself throw up, go in there, clean it up. Don't pay any attention to him, because then that's just gonna make him want you more. So just clean up the throw up and then walk back out and let him cry himself to sleep. And I think that's absolutely horrible. I don't know why anybody would ever recommend, you know, you just have to, a lot of times through going through everything with Kai, it's so different than how I did it with Ava. I see things so differently. I really try to put myself, you know, like in his place, like how he's feeling. He's in this whole new world, and he's so scared sometimes, you know, at night when he's crying, he wants me or Corey, he wants to be by us. And if you think about just putting, you know, a newborn baby just in this dark room in a crib that looks like a jail, there's bars, you're putting them in there, and then you're closing the door and you're just like leaving them. And to them, they're thinking, you know, my mom and dad are gone and I'm by myself and I just want to be held and comforted. And that's why they cry. They're not crying because they, don't want you to sleep. They're crying because they want you and they need you at that point.
Mm-hmm. And you're creating PTSD for them, because that is why then they have the attachment through the rest of their life, because they have post-traumatic stress disorder from leaving them in the jail alone.
Right. And it is really backwards, because what I noticed with him, I really just go with the flow of everything. Like with breastfeeding, I do breastfeed on demand, so it's just whenever he wants to eat, I feed him wherever we are, no matter what. And I never time it, I never put like, okay, it's been 2 hours, so he can eat now, or he needs to eat now, or anything like that. And it's so much easier when I'm not looking at the clock and thinking, oh my God, it's been, it's only been an hour and a half. I have to feed him, and he already wants to eat again. I have to feed him again. It's so much easier to just go with it and to just not even pay attention to the time or anything and just feed them when they want to. He knows when he wants to eat and when he should eat, and my breast milk is the best thing for him, and I believe that's why he's thriving. But at night, where I was going with this, I think that's why at night then, when we're co-sleeping with him, why he sleeps so much. Parents try to put their kids in their cribs, in their own rooms, and they want them to sleep through the night, but they're crying. If they're sleeping with you, they sleep so much more soundly and so much more. They just don't wake up as much. So if parents are sleeping with them, you definitely get more sleep through the night, and then you also don't have to hear them screaming their heads off because they want to be by you. They're already by you. So I think it's much more calm and peaceful and, connected when the newborn is able to be with you as much as they need or want to be with you. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. That's what I have to say.
Another thing is that it creates extra energy that you have to expend, which is mostly in the form of money, because when you have a newborn, most people think that they need a room for that newborn to be in, so they need a bigger house. That's more energy right there. Then they have to fill that room with all kinds of
crap.
Shit that the baby doesn't care about, but which this is own video on itself, is that we don't look at it from the baby's perspective almost at all, from setting up their room to the clothes that they're wearing to the toys we give them. It's all from the perspective of the parents usually and how they want it to look or how they're told it should look. So they fill it with all this crap that the baby had no input on, and they put a crib in there, which all this furniture, which is expensive, and a lot of people are very they want everything to look nice, so they get expensive furniture, they get wood and stuff, so it's more energy. And
decorations.
They want the safest stuff too, because it's all about safety as well, and you pay for safety. Decorations, and it all different charts to record stuff, and it all adds up to all this extra energy that you have to expend that you don't get to actually give it to your baby. Then it's getting thrown into material objects that's holding it, and it's just a complete waste of the energy at the wrong time, because all that energy that you're expending outwards into this world should be going into your body and into the connection with your baby and your family to fulfill the bond. And as she said earlier, I mean, the crib is a jail. That's exactly what it is and how it is designed to look. There's no mistake that the bars go like this, just like jail bars do. And I mean, now they're more fancier, but they used to all be like the same square shapes with straight up and down bars that look like a wooden jail for the baby to be in. And I mean, I could really go on and on because the mattress is just so horrible too that most babies are on because it's even worse than the normal size mattresses because it's made out of complete plastic and all kinds of fire retardants and
which is one reason why no, they can't have pillows. But the mattress is one reason why I'm sure it causes SIDS for babies because they're laying, they recommend that they, lay on their back and they're surrounded by these chemicals in the mattress, like he said, the fire retardants, the plastics, and then they're breathing that in all night, foam. So instead of being like he sleeps like on my chest or on my, right now we have an organic mattress, luckily, but we didn't before, and he was sleeping like on my chest and up here more, so he wasn't as much on the mattress. But one thing about the energy I also wanted to add is the mom and the baby too are wasting more energy in the night if the mom is having to get up and go into the room, or the dad go up and go into the room and get the baby out, so that's a waste of energy as well. But I wanted to add one interesting thing.
One thing to that. I mean, if you just think about it, no one likes to get up and go into the other room in the middle of the night when your baby's crying. So why do people?
Right. And it's only because we're told to, that
right.
That's the best thing for them to be, on their own and stuff like that, so that they don't get too attached to you, and it's all silly. But one thing I did read that was interesting is, and I don't know if it's true or not, obviously, but I just found it interesting that they said when the mom and the baby are sleeping very close next to each other, the mom's carbon dioxide that she's breathing out helps to stimulate the baby's breathing. And that was one of the reasons why I read that there's less of a risk of SIDS as well, because it's stimulating the newborn's breathing while the mom is breathing as well. Or the dad, of course, if they're near, but it's just usually the mom because they're the ones that are breastfeeding, obviously, through the night. But I think that's pretty much for this one. We're going to do another one because this goes along with the attachment parenting, but we're going to do one specifically on how we do attachment parenting with him, because we had done one with Ava and how we parent her and stuff, so we wanted to do one just how we do things with our newborn. So that one we'll be doing soon, and we'll be posting a lot more videos as well. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.